Like we are nation builders, right? Sam, you're nation builder.
Do I look like one?
You're nation builder.
Nation builder. But basically, if you ask me, I feel that this is a point where the Nigerian government really needs to do something.
Of course.
I mean, we really have to do a lot, especially when we talk about the issue of insecurity. It's something we need to address. I remember at some point I was so scared I couldn't. That was during when we had the height of attacks in southeast Nigeria.
Yes.
I mean, I wake up every morning, I hear what's happening in the news. My dad calls me, and then he says something like, "We are hiding somewhere. We are not at home. We've packed." I mean, I was worried. I was almost getting depressed. I mean, I was almost having panic attacks. I was scared. And sometimes I'm like, I had to even ask a friend, are you sure Nigeria is going to make it till December? I was just wondering what was going to happen to Nigeria. I mean, if at that point someone gave me an offer, maybe, I don't know. I probably would have forgotten about my English.
So you're calling on our leaders, and we're all aware that most of them, their families are not even in Nigeria. So are they even leading by example? Most of them, they only come when it comes to politics. They come to the National Assembly. They come to they just come to Aso Villa, do their thing, collect their pay. But their families are abroad. Now they suffer at the end of the day.
Well, when you say now they suffer, sometimes I actually ask myself questions like, what exactly is it that these people are? I mean, how do you feel knowing that you have a position that affords you the opportunity of solving problems? You have a position that affords you the opportunity of ensuring that the lives of over 200 million Nigerians, is made better, and then you decide, to just focus on yourself. Sometimes when I think about it, I wonder really. I mean, you decide to focus on yourself. When we talk about, some of this misappropriation of funds, when we talk about corruption, it baffles me, and I wonder how, we got here as a nation. And sometimes I wonder if we are ever going to get to the point where we will have leaders who will, walk the talk, leaders who will be interested in making Nigeria a better place for all.
Okay, so we'll thank God for the forthcoming election, and that's why we're going to keep educating Nigerians to vote wisely, vote for a nation builder, vote for someone who will not just, after having a dick and just decide to travel abroad, vote for someone who will invest into all these sectors and improve them. Then maybe at the end of the day, Nigerians abroad will come home and invest. Then we'll have people from other countries trying to come to Nigeria. Just the way UK is they're looking for medical practitioners, they're looking for skilled laborers. At the end of the day, Nigerians will just put it everywhere on social media. We'll be looking for practitioners to come into our system. I bet we'll get there one day.
Well, we have the numbers, so we will not necessarily have to...
We think we have the number.
We have the number.
So at the end of the day, not all Nigerians will be educated. At the end of the day, Nigeria is a well-populated country. And for now, when we have most of our practitioners outside the country, most of our doctors are outside the country, most of our tech guys are outside the country. Even the ones that are in the country are working for companies abroad.
They are working remotely.
So we'll still get to that point where it's either we'll bring them back home, we'll drag them, or they just feel like we need to go back home, or we'll call for other practitioners in other countries to come into our country and help us make it a better nation.
Well, if you ask me, I'll say one of the things that the Nigerian government needs to work on is social security. Yeah. And that's something so many people are enjoying in these other countries. So much so that even if you do not have the money, you can be so sure that you can get good quality health care, and you can also get good basic education. Because when you look at some of these public schools, when you get in there, sometimes you wonder if these guys are really being taught, because some of these people, some of those who went to public schools, you find that some of them cannot even speak English very well, some of them cannot even read well, especially in rural areas. I mean, these are things we need to work on.
Especially in northern Nigeria especially.
So these are things we need to look at. These things really, our education system, our health sector, these are things we need to fix. And the social security is really very important. If these things are fixed, I want to believe that Nigerians will want to stay. And apart from that, we need to stop paying lip service to, fighting insecurity. We need to fight it. I mean, I don't know, if you had asked me last year or early this year, I probably would have told you that I'm looking for the... At a point, let me not expose myself.
Don't say, no.
You're going to say something?
Well, I share your sentiment, because it's high time we begin to look inward, because we know we have a lot of investors that would want to come into the country to really invest whatever they want to really do in the country. But because of the insecurity we're having, because of the not having a stable economy whereby you come in your shop making money, at the end of the day your business is not crumbled or shut down as a result of no enabling environment put on ground. Some of these things really have so much it impacts on the economy, and of course, that's the reason a lot of us are leaving the country. It's not as if we are not interested in the country, but when you
When you
look...
say we, but I can see you physically.
Yes, you see me physically, but you can't really tell where my mind is. Yes, I might be here, but is my mind really here? So it's a whole lot, and we have to be really sincere about it. If our leaders want people to believe in the country, work for the country, and help the country grow, we need to look inward and see things that are not really being done and do it well. And I'm sure we have a lot of people here who have that interest to really build the country, but the point is, do they really have the will, that political will to say, yes, I'm going to do it. I don't mind who else is God or whose foot I'm going to be stepping on, but the real and good thing for this country must come to pass. So if we begin to have that mentality, we will begin to see change, that real change the country actually wants. But then if that is not done, I don't think we'll ever see a country whereby things really work well as we've always been hoping. So that's just my take on that.
Okay, so I would just say that Nigerians we just need to get it better, the right way. You want to travel outside the country. There's nothing bad in greener pasture. Even in Nigeria, people migrating from their villages, from their town, from their community to urban areas like Lagos. Lagos is well populated. Lagos is now London. Moving to Lagos is part of greener pasture. You're looking for better opportunity, because of course you can't just stay back in your village, and you can still be fine in your village, but
it depends on the village.
So why not just do the right part? You have millions, you have like 2-3 millions, you have 5 millions. There are parts you can follow. You can follow the education part. I think it's just based on research. If you do your research well, you don't rely on agents. And if you're even using agents, you use reliable ones. Don't just go and look for people that will give you cooked stories and make everything.
And even give you fake papers, and at the end of the day, they promise you, then you're deported.
Most of this processing, they ask for funds, like how much you have in your account. Proof of fund. Thank you. So agents will tell you, don't worry, I want you to undo that. Do you know what they do? They print fake statement of account, and at the end of the day, these people get banned from most of these countries. So why not just do your research well? There's nothing bad in traveling, there's nothing bad in looking for greener pasture, but just ensure you're following the right path, and you enjoy it. Of course, do your research well. You can follow education, you can do
some countries are even saying you should just come in and look for jobs.
Yes, job opportunities. Yes. There are companies that will even fund your transport, visa fee. Yes, your visa fee, both for you and your family. So please do your research well and don't rush. Life is in stages. So it's a gradual process. You can wake up this morning and say, I want to travel out of the country, but it won't be possible today, even if you have all the money. Even for those who have their complete money, it still is in stages. It's gradually move from one phase to another, and don't just go and look for one abracadabra that will make everything possible in 1 minute.
Absolutely, I think that's a fair one. Yeah. What about you? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I share sentiments. It's not about you being desperate, because when you're desperate, you begin to expose yourself to some certain dangers that you might not have the information about. But once you have that interest, check and see if you have the fund. Once you have the fund, that's another stage. Now look for those who are the real connects that you need. Like she said, you can go through education visa, you can go through all the means, all the means of travel that you know is guaranteed, so that your funds will not just go out there and you don't get value or a run for your money. So it's a step, you don't have to jump the gun.
Just imagine this was now Christmas. What will you tell your family? I've been abroad for how many years? You're returning with one handbag. What will you tell village people?
Although they know it's how am I going to put it now? It's 50-50. They either make it or lose. But then, to us who are wise, we know it is penny wise, pounds foolish. That little money you have, if you had saved a little more, got the right means, you would have just saved yourself all of this stress. But they know all of these. I'm not saying.
I mean, look at your embarrassment. The embarrassment that comes with it. For those that are not even deported,
even have babies, like small kids.
For those that are not even deported, you can't tell what they are even going through in these countries, how they hide and everything.
So for those who are not deported, they don't even work with their real name. They use someone else's name to work just to get funds, and they have to hide from one place to another so they don't get caught. So why do you live your life like that?
That's not a good one, really. It's not something anyone would really like. Well, I think at this point we had a great time talking about this particular issue. We'll take a break now. When we come back, well, I will bring you more. Stay with us.